Learn something new and connect with like-minded contributors in health, wealth, and relationships. This is Power Lunch with Pabi Moloi on Power 98.7.
It's quite a serious set of topics that we have, but regardless of the holiday, the type of day, whatever day, our minds are always screwed on very, very tightly and thinking about things that are important to us. And some may be thinking about making a major move if you are fortunate enough to upgrade your lifestyle. But I know we often talk about in the lane of making assessments and changes and, making ourselves a little bit freer when it comes to our properties. Or if you're a person who's in a position to purchase properties that you will be using as investments, this is a conversation for you. We're talking about title deed nightmares, when your dream home becomes a legal disaster. So some can find purchasing a dream home only to discover months later that the title deed was never properly transferred, the seller didn't legally own the property, or that there are hidden disputes tying up ownership in endless legal battles. And this happens across South Africa. And people are being blindsided by these issues. So let's talk about them to the greatest of our ability right now. Real estate agent Melissa Hammanburg in studio with us, and you can give us a call on 0861987000. Melissa, how are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm great. Thanks, and yourself?
Good. I'm very, very well, thank you. Denzel, if I can ask, maybe you can just go and pull Melissa's microphone towards her rather than turn it all the way up there. It gets a bit noisy. All right, so let's start at the very, very beginning, because that is a very good place to start. What exactly is the title deed? What are we talking about?
Okay, so a title deed is the proper, like it's a legal document to say that you actually own the property. So it would have your information, the information of the property, the barriers, what you can do and what you can't do. So that's basically the title deed. So when you buy a home, especially cash, you are to have a title deed. You have to have a title deed. Yeah.
So that shows that it is your property.
Yes.
If you have not purchased it cash and you're paying over the 30 years that the bank has given you, then the bank has the title deed.
Yes, so the bank will have the title deed until you finish to pay off your loan, and then you can then get the title deed.
But regardless, does the title deed need to be properly registered with the deeds office?
Yes, it has to. It has to, yeah.
So that could be one of the problems, one of the nightmares. Because whose job is that?
So when you buying a property, so as a buyer, you need to have lawyers. So there's conveyance lawyers. So it's their jobs to basically go through, communicate with the title deed. So you can't go to the title deed office and be like, you want to change your stuff or anything like that. It has to go via the lawyers, the conveyance lawyers and stuff. So yeah, that's how you basically can go through to that part.
Okay, so what do we see then when people don't legally own the property, but then they've sold the property?
That's where fraud comes in.
The other F word.
Yes. So in cases like that, you would find mostly like in family cases whereby people feel like because umkhulu, our grandfather said that the house belongs to us or whatever the case is, and then they try to sell the property without the proper legal documents, which would be the title deed. And you get people do fall victim for that. Sometimes they do forge the documents to say that it is under them. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you have a registered real estate agent and a conveyance lawyer, attorney. Yeah.
Who ideally would be working in tandem with your real estate agents.
Yes.
So everyone then is above board.
Yes. So in most cases, people have to sort of check if the lawyers that they're using are actually lawyers that are authentic, So, a conveyance lawyer is the one who handles the transfers, who transfers your the names of the properties and so forth. So basically you have to check if they are on the panel of like the major banks and how many transactions have they done. You can't just choose any random lawyer and be like, they can register my property because they're a lawyer. There's specific lawyers that are dedicated for that. So, yeah.
Oh, all right. I see. As some are criminal lawyers or some are
Yes.
family law lawyers. The
Yes.
conveyancers do this very specific job.
Yes.
All right. So even if under that law firm they do everything, but that's the guy that you
Yes.
need to do the specific thing. I
Yes.
understand now. All right. So the title deed disaster of the fraud, criminals posing as legitimate sellers. Is that in the same realm?
Yes. So it does, because you get a lot of interesting people.
Okay.
Yeah, you do get a lot of interesting people, especially when it comes to rentals. You'll find someone posing as an agent to rent out a house, and they don't have the correct documents. They don't even know the owner of the property, and then you just go there and you fall victim to these things, and you don't even know if whether or not this agent is actually the correct agent, or if they, you find people that used to work for a certain company. They're no
Yes.
longer working, and then they still continue to push it as if though they're still working for that company.
They use the title deed.
Yes, and then you pay in money,
Yeah.
and the moment you pay money, they're gone. And then you don't have the property. You're not able to rent. You're not able to get the property. It's a lot. Yeah.
So in terms of rental, again, you're checking if you're working with a reputable company.
Yes. It's very important to check that. You can't just decide that because the house is on Property 24 that it is listed.
Is there a body that we can check on?
So basically, you would have to check the company that they're saying they're working for. You can also check on PPRA if they are registered real estate agent in most cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. This is something that we've experienced, and it has been devastating. Clerical errors at the deeds office.
Yeah.
So I've had in a scenario where now I and somebody else are registered for the same property. And so now you can imagine, City of Joburg, now my bill is massive, but I'm like, who is this other? Why? I turn off the tap when I brush my teeth.
Exactly. It happens.
And so tell me about, I mean, is it that rare that happens? Is it just my bad lucks? Or what are you supposed to do if the deeds office does make that kind of error?
So it happens quite often.
Oh, gosh.
So, also with the electricity situation,
Yes.
that they're going into people's houses, they're checking if you paying electricity or whatever the case is. So in cases like that, what happens is as soon as you find out that something is not making sense, you need to contact a property lawyer. That's where people also get it wrong. So each and everything has specific people that are dedicated to those things. So you need to contact a property lawyer. Then the property lawyer will be able to communicate with the deeds office. So, but now depending on the situation, like for instance, if it's an administrative error, it could take like maybe a month or so, weeks, or it can take a couple of months. But if it's not, then it can take years.
What more could be wrong?
In cases like these, you find that, like you were saying, two people are registered under one property and you don't know the person. So you guys now had to go and like sort of fight it out. Or you thought you bought a property and then you find out that the property is not yours. These people don't even know, they were never selling in the first place. There's a lot of things that can actually happen. It happens. It really happens.
A disaster.
Yes.
And so I don't know if we've thought of all of the different kinds of title deed nightmares. But this all sounds very stressful and costly, Melissa.
It is. It is in a way. It is. Unfortunately, it is a costly process, but that's why it's important for you to take the right steps. Because let's say, for instance, if you're going to start off by going to your lawyer is going to charge you.
Of course.
You need to first go to a conveyance, like a property lawyer. Get there, explain the situation to them that this is what's happening, and this is how. And then from there, they should also be able to give you clear to say that this is how much we're going to charge you, and this is what we're looking at, and this is how we are going to deal with the situation, depending on whatever situation it is that you have. And also, people need to be very aware or very, very wary of like the type of people that they decide to sign documents with. You can't just, because someone said that they're selling the property to you, then you guys are signing this document, and it's a property document that confirms transfers, but you're doing it at a parking lot, or you are doing it at some dodgy place. Usually, if it's with lawyers, you go to their office.
You go to their offices.
Yes, and you sit down. They will literally explain everything to you. If you're going via bank, they'll tell you that, okay, these are the bank's lawyers, and we are your lawyers. And then this is the conversation. They'll take you through everything. And also, you need to be careful of how, if they are rushing you to sign a document, don't just sign a document, because it's going to cost you money. You need to understand each and everything. That's why it's very important to get agents like me. We're registered, guys.
Good.
So those are the type of things that people need to be able to look out for.
Over my life, I've bought several properties, sold several properties, and I find that now it feels more dangerous than ever, because now there are more crooks than ever. Now there are more people who dress up smart and smell beautiful, and then they are actually illegal,
Yes.
And I'm finding that is more and more of the case. So people who are trying to get into property for the first time, this is something that makes them a little bit nervous.
So this is why like I said, you need to make sure that the agents that you're getting, it's the first step I would advise someone is always work with brands that with agents that are working for well-known brands.
Right.
You need to know their offices. For instance, I work for Remax at our offices in Brackenhurst and stuff. So you're able to walk in, you look for Remax Finest, you walk into the office and you'll be like, okay, I'm looking for Melissa. Then you're able to see that, okay, this is the person and so forth. You need to be able to differentiate between someone who is a fly-by-night and someone who's there. So it's always a safer way to go about it.
But then hang on. So now what do I do? This isn't necessarily title deed, but it's the rental agreement, right? So I'm not a real estate anything. I just have a cottage. And so we happen to meet at whatever luncheon, and you say you're looking for somewhere to stay, and I'm like, oh, I have this cottage that would be perfect for you. What should we do legally to protect me and my cottage and to protect you?
So you need to have a legal document. I know a lot of people tend to build houses or like rooms in their backyard or in like Soweto or wherever, and then they start leasing these properties out. But you need to make sure that person signs a legal document, and as the person as the landlord, what you can do to protect yourself is you need to have a legal document. You need to state the terms there, that this is the period of time you're going to stay there for. This is the condition that you found the property in, and this is how much deposit you need to pay, and basically the basics.
So that's a proper rental agreement.
Yes, even if you're just doing it by yourself, you need to do that, because you need to be careful. And then as the person who is renting, you need to make sure that whatever you're agreeing to, it makes sense. You can't just sign a document just because it's a 3-bedroom apartment or cottage, then they're saying it's 3,500 rand and you're so excited. You can't just do that. You need to go through these things. You need to understand every clause, that okay, this represents this says that, and then agree with it. Because sometimes you find people that are leasing out these properties and you are just jumping in. Next thing you know, the water bill is extremely expensive. When you want to leave, you can't get your deposit. When you want to do this, and also, other documents, they'll tell you that if you leave a property before time, you forfeit your deposit. People don't know that. Sometimes you're forfeiting that. So if you don't...
Something like that, for example, sorry to interrupt you, Melissa. If it is in your contract, it's legal. If it is not in your contract, it is not legally binding.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So these are things that people need to be able to look out for. Don't just get excited because the price is too good to be true.
Oh, and that's so difficult, because we're in this position where everything is expensive. So if you find something that, oh, wow, this works, you're going to jump. You're going to jump, but you might be jumping into the fire. Let's have a listen to this voice note that's come through on 083-303-7093. Do you want to grab your headphones and just stick them on so we can hear this voice note?
Good day, Power FM. My question here is, let me say I'm losing a job after I've paid for 10 years for a house, do I entitled to any refund or anything after I've paid that house for 10 years? Now I'm failing to pay it any further because I've lost the job. That's my question. Thank you, Pav.
Okay, so am I correct in assuming maybe he means that he's bought the house? Mm-hmm. So his payments back of his bond he can't pay? Mm-hmm. Or is it even in rental?
Yeah, so the moment you sign an agreement with the bank, to say that you're buying this property, let's say you're buying it for 1 million and you're going to be paying it over a period of 10 or 30 years, which the difference is like 10,000 rand. But anyway, what happens is the moment you're not able to pay, you need to communicate with the bank and tell them that, okay, guys, this is what's happening. So what they're going to do is they'll take the money. Let's say you skipped this month, then they will put it over. They'll ask you a payment plan, basically. But if you're not communicating with the bank is going to come and take everything, whether you've been paying for 10 years, 15 years, you can even be paying for 19 years. But that last year, if you're not paying, if you're not communicating with your property immediately goes under distressed properties. So that's usually what happens. So
why would you think that he can get a refund?
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. You know, when you're buying a property and this property that you're buying, you're paying it off on a monthly basis or yearly basis, whatever. You are basically renting the property, and it's a rent to buy, but like over a long period of time. So that's what people tend to like not really understand.
It's not yours yet.
It's not yours yet. Yeah. Only after you fully paid and you have the deeds letter, in your hands, that, okay, this is mine, then only it's yours.
We're going to need more time because I have two more incredibly important questions to ask. So we've got our voice note, we've got Jerry. Maybe we ask Jerry's question and then hang on until after 2 o'clock, and then I'll ask my question as well.
Not a problem.
Jerry, hi.
Greetings. Let's say I purchased a property, then I found out the seller did not include a borehole. Maybe there's a borehole. Then I purchased a property, but he excluded the borehole. Then later on, he comes to augment the water from my yard. What is the recourse? And one last question is that why do they charge so much money? I mean, to just transfer a property from one person to another. Why so much money? There's no standard price. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so that's the questions from Jerry. Let's find out what's happening in the power news right now at 2 o'clock. We're with real estate agent Melissa Hammanburg, and you can call in on 0861 987 000. It's 2 o'clock. Power Lunch on Power 98.7 with myself, Pabi Moloi. I haven't said this. Alex is still here, hardworking member of the economy. Myself, Pabi, hardworking member of the economy. And Denzel is here, standing in for Oza. Where's Oza? Remember those people who are sitting on their sofa eating Zimbas? Oza's one of those. Munchu says, yes, Pabi, I deserve this rest. Okay, fine. Munchu is eating a packet of Triggs crunched popcorn snack and chips with dip ya barbecue flavor. But listen to this. After running a 60-kilometer run, Maubane, I don't know what would possess you to run 60 kilometers in one day. But congratulations to you on that long run, and also congratulations to you on eating your Zimbas. It's your holiday. Enjoy it the 28th of April 2025. We've been talking in our properties segment about title deed nightmares when your dream home becomes a legal disaster. And we've outlined a lot of title deed nightmares that may happen, perhaps in private sales where the criminals pose as legitimate sellers and maybe have made a fraudulent title deed. We're talking about incomplete paperwork, double registrations, unpaid municipal accounts, blocking transfers. There are lots of issues that may come about. And so before we went to the headlines with our guest, real estate agent Melissa Hammanburg, Jerry phoned in, Melissa, and asked on the seller's agreement, they said they have a borehole. And now he's saying there is no borehole. So does he have any recourse here? And I suppose this isn't just boreholes, right? It's all of the things that you're told are there, but then aren't.
So in cases like this, usually when you're buying the property, I remember when I was here the last time, I did tell the listeners that when you're buying a property, it has to have a disclosure form.
Okay.
That disclosure form protects you. So basically, it will say that this property has this, has that, and it's broken or it's not broken or whatever the case is. So that disclosure form is what he can literally stand on. And
Right.
then now he goes to the property lawyers, attorneys, and explain that situation to them. Because if you're talking about people taking water whilst he's on the property and stuff, then there's the water rights situation that comes in, and so forth. So that's a situation where he now has to go to the property the conveyancers attorneys and explain the situation to them, and then they should be able to assist in that case.
And then he wants to know, why is transfer so expensive?
So transfer cost depends on the property, on the amount that you're paying for. Unfortunately, I cannot give you a clear answer to say that this is the main reason why it's expensive, but every lawyer has their own different amount that you would pay. So you need to check with the lawyers. They need to give you a clear amount. So usually they'll say to you that if you're paying, if a property is maybe, let's say 800,000, from maybe 600,000 to 800,000, maybe you'd pay 35,000 rand or whatever. So all of that is what's included in that. What they're charging you for is basically for the change of ownership, the paperwork that's being done, and all of those things that comes along with it, and also for their service.
Yes.
That's what also you need to keep in mind. They're also charging you for their service.
So just as with any other attorney or lawyer, you per hour, whatever their service is, so you can choose one on one side of your budget or the other.
Yes.
Okay.
So because you can imagine if if the lawyers were not charging you, they wouldn't be making money.
No, of course.
So it's something like that.
And they know how to do it, right? They know how to. They're the ones who then go to the deeds office. They're the ones who. So they, of course, they need to be paid for what they do. Now, I want to know. You've got to the point and you've paid off your property. Woohoo! What's the process of getting your title deed? Can you get your title deed? Should you get your title deed?
You should.
Okay.
If you have a property and you paid off the property, you should get your title deed. Usually, if it was finance, it's via bank. So you'd be communicating with the bank's lawyers. They will be the ones that would be sending you all the documents. And
because
stuff.
you finish paying, but I know there's also a process there. You have to tell them that I'm about to finish paying.
Yes. So because it has nothing to do with the deeds office at that time.
Okay.
So remember, when you're buying a property via finance, it's the bank that has your title deed until you finish paying. It's like a car.
Yes.
Once you finish paying it, then the bank will say that it's no longer under us. It's now under this person.
Right.
So that's how you have to then be in communication or get.
And so what's that process? You communicate with your bank?
Yes, you have to communicate with your bank. The bank has their lawyers and so forth. So it basically it would be a back and forth emails of, hi, I just finished paying, proof of payment. This is the person. Then the bank will send you their own documents, and then it will go via the deeds office and all of these other stuff. Yeah.
All right, but that also is possible. Anything that you think we've left out that's important?
Something that we've left out is, if you are buying a property, do not pay the money into the seller's bank account. Do not pay the money into the agent's bank account. Do not pay the money into a random person's bank account just because they're giving it to you. You need to be careful. Only pay it to the lawyer's account. If you pay it to anywhere else, then there's nothing that they can really do for you, because then you can get scammed like that.
Of course.
And also another thing is, we were talking about fraud and all the scammings and stuff. So you would notice that usually what lawyers are now doing is they will confirm their bank account over the phone, because someone can send you an email with the banking details, and then you have these banking details, and then you use those banking details. But there's someone else that's also watching the email. They could have changed the banking details and put their own. So when you're not paying into the lawyer's account. You're not paying into the scammer's account. So you need to also be aware of that as well. So always confirm over the phone.
Oh, I see.
Yes. It's a lot.
Can you see?
Is going on.
I'm shocked. And I'll tell you why. Because it's something that you just do. The realtor or the conveyancer sends you, okay, you need to pay X amount into this account. And then you just do it.
No, you have
but
to.
But now, no.
No, like in today's world, if you want to pay, always call to confirm, or sometimes it can even be done via WhatsApp, to say that, because the lawyers, they'll text you via WhatsApp and like you're able to communicate with them. But just always make sure that is even in a business or whatever you do when it comes to the banking details, you always need to make sure that you're confirming the banking details over and over again. Because it can change. You can go into someone else's account.
This has been so important. Thank you very much for coming to educate us. How do we find you?
So I am dropping a podcast. It's called Beyond Listings with Mal. Please do subscribe to my channel. We will be educating people similar topics, showcasing beautiful houses that South Africa has to offer. Everyone is so interested about like the Eye of Africa. We've got houses in Eye of Africa. We'll be going to Camps Bay as well. Basically everywhere around South Africa we'll be showcasing these houses. We'll be educating people on the houses, and I'm also doing a screening event on Wednesday for the podcast as well, so people should also stay out for that. But if anyone else wants to get a hold of me, you can contact me on my number 0844 507738, and also my social media platforms. It's Mal_H_Hammanburg. Or you can go to Beyond Listings with Mal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Why is everyone obsessed with Camps Bay when there's Landlatno? I can never pronounce it, but I know it's there.
The views.
Oh my gosh. Oh, are they better?
Oh my goodness. You know what, guys? Just subscribe to the channel. You will compare. You will see for yourself. You will understand.
I'm so obsessed.
You will understand. We talk about even like the Iron Man's house. What's
the Iron Man's house?
Oh my goodness. You see, if you want to know what the Iron Man house is, just subscribe to the channel.
Are you saying Iron Man?
Yes, Iron Man. You need to subscribe. And you'll know.
Iron Man?
You see, this is why people need to subscribe to this channel.
I love it so much, and I'm wishing you absolutely everything of the best. It's going to be so beautiful. And please, don't get too famous for us. Come back and talk to us.
You guys must keep inviting me.
We will definitely keep inviting you. And thank you for making time for us on a public holiday.
Thank you so much for having me.
Real estate agent Melissa Hammanburg. Listen out to this podcast, or share this podcast if you know anybody who is trying to purchase a home or trying to sell a home. Just some extra information about the title deed and why it matters, and some red flags to look out for. This is Power Lunch on Power 98.7.